One of the most trending stories at the moment is that Goshen City has stopped supporting or sponsoring FAMA. In this video, I want to discuss right about that, right? Because let us be honest, okay? We need to be honest on this whole breakup thing. I mean, this was like Bushiri and his Goshen City were very, very important backers of the filmmakers industry. But the announcement that Goshen City has ended its partnership with the Film Association of Malawi, honestly speaking, it came as a surprise. But not that much of a surprise when you think of it. Okay. Yes, Prophet Shepherd Bushiri called it an administrative decision, and yes, Goshen City was really careful not to spill the details. But this is Malawi, okay? Like when the details are missing, it's usually because there is something dark that's not being discussed. And in this video, we are really going to cut through the noise, and I'm going to surgically extract the truth, or perhaps what I think might be the most important reason that prompted the Goshen City executives to say, I think we need to cut our connections to this sponsorship deal. In what I know, partnerships don't just collapse for no reason. And you were talking about multi-million kwacha deals like what this was. Okay. What is worth noting is that Goshen City went out of its way in the midst of this announcement, and they actually said that they are still committed to supporting a film project and the creative arts industry. And that should raise like question marks. Okay, they are still committed to support a film, and they will still be supporting creative arts in the country, but they are not going to continue funding the Films Association of Malawi. That means I think that statement alone, it suggests that this wasn't just about the organization hating film, the film industry or something like that. I think it is really about the people running the association. So shortly after the announcement, the former president, Mrs. Dorothy Kingston, released her own statement thanking partners and naming figures, including the reported 28 million kwacha that was contributed by Goshen City, plus expenses for flying in foreign-based performers. Lab 20 and Malawi Airlines also got a special mention. On the surface, that response looked like mature, like a clean thank you and we move on, like they're not really touched by the withdrawal of Goshen City. But this is where the uncomfortable questions really make the noise, okay? Because leadership isn't just about writing polite statements, it's also about the image, the perception, and the brand alignment. And whether people like it or not, professionalism doesn't just stop at the office door. Okay, it stretches into how you present yourself publicly, the persona that you pose, how you behave online, and how you carry the institution that you represent. There have been ongoing murmurs about Dorothy Kingston's public conduct, from social media posts to images some consider inconsistent with the seriousness of leading a national film body. Tinaona maphotos ya kunyanja ena ake osafunika kuti ana Kingston awaoni, but they are literally posted on their official handles. That's perfectly normal in private, okay, their private life, whatever, that's okay, aziswitirana. But in public, when you are the face of an institution struggling for credibility, struggling for funding and respect, nothing is ever just your private life, okay? Everything that you do in public is taken into serious. Everything that you do in public is taken seriously. And that's the part many people don't want to say out aloud. In here, I believe that Mrs. Shonga's public conduct might really be one of the key factors, because sponsorships are not just a charity, they're business decisions. And sponsors like Goshen City don't just give money because they love film. They always invest for PR value, brand positioning, and the social proof that comes. Okay, they carefully assess whether the people representing the partnership reflect the image they want associated with their brand. So the real question isn't whether Goshen City still supports film. The real question is, did Goshen City feel that FAMA under its current leadership no longer aligned with the brand image they want to project? That's most likely, because knowing the prophet, a man of God, he wouldn't want to be associated with with what was happening, really, because it was really disturbing. Okay, and I believe that this fallout actually makes sense. So I know some will argue that Dorothy Kingston's personal life should not be scrutinized, ultimately, like it's her life and whatnot. Okay, fine, that's fair in theory, but she's a leader and she's subject to criticism, just like every other leader is in this country, whether you like it or not, especially in an industry already fighting to be taken seriously. Perception can either open doors or quietly close them. At the end of the day, both Goshen City and FAMA have contributed to the film industry in their own ways in Malawi, but the industry cannot afford to keep collapsing into personal drama, personal fallouts, egos, and public drama. Because to be fair, when we look at Dorothy Kingston, we're not just looking at her like she's a wife of Zeze Kingston. We're looking at her for her professional career. Who is she? What is she doing in her life? And most of the times, we saw her as the president. Dorothy Kingston, the president. Imagine the president of Malawi going out. Okay, he's outside of the office and what's not, and then he goes out and does what Mrs. Kingston was doing or whatever. It's his private life, right? But because he's a public figure, because he's holding such an important position, he's not technically supposed to be doing that, and he can't, right? He can't be doing that. Okay, so the real losers here, I believe, are the filmmakers, actors, and creative people building dreams with almost no resources and hoping leadership will rise above personal branding battles. And our hearts need to go out to them. Anyway, we'll see how all this plays out, because what is following is now a real test for FAMA. Is FAMA going to be able to secure new partners, or we're going to hear other influential partners saying we cannot continue supporting FAMA because of Mrs. Shonga? Maybe they may not explicitly say that, but that is literally something. And it's crazy, because a lot of people have been telling the Kingstons, or perhaps specifically Mrs. Shonga, to actually behave professionally outside of the office, because she's a national and a national image. Anyway, time will tell, but pretending that nothing is fishy here and just accepting the formal narrative is not something that we are doing here at Malawiana. And if you liked this video, I urge you to follow us wherever you are watching this video, like this video, and actually tell us your views in the comment.